Hey, look who's back. It's Weather for Weather Geeks time here on Tuesday. It's St. Patty's Day. I'm back from vacation after a nice 10-day rest after a long winter. We're back at it today, and before we get to today's weather, let's talk about snow just briefly. None in the forecast, but a lot of people are asking, have we seen the last snow of the season so far? And I wouldn't go so far as to say that at all. This season is shaping up to be snowier than average, but not as snowy as last year, and that's exactly what our winter forecast was when we put it out at the end of October. Well, as of today, we're at 77.5 inches worth of snow at the Youngstown Warren Airport for the season. Normal or average up to this date, 55.7. And last year, by this time, we had about 86. So we're about 8.5 inches off of last year's pace. So definitely snowier than average, but we haven't had as much of the white stuff as we did last year. Although a lot of us will be very happy once we've seen the last snowflake of the 2014-2015 season. All right, this afternoon, here's what's going on. After a cloudy morning, sunshine has broken through this afternoon. Here's the satellite picture. There's a couple of snow showers up in upstate New York, but none of that locally. In fact, nothing but sun really out there right now. You can see I've got the isobars plotted up here. Those are the lines of equal pressure. We have high pressure centered out here across the plain states, low pressure over Maine, and the pressure gradient, or the difference in the atmospheric pressure between the high and the low, is creating some wind. It's a breezy afternoon today with wind speeds, wind gusts upwards of 30 miles per hour in a few spots. Right now the wind is gusting 28 knots at the Youngstown Warren Airport, so getting close to 35 miles per hour for wind gusts as I record this in the 2 o'clock hour. Now, of course, yesterday we hit a high of 62 degrees. Finally, that was the warmest day since November. Today, a lot different in the wake of our cold front here locally. Here's a look at the temperatures. Our cold front has parked itself kind of down in here. Anywhere south of that, it's still spring fever, close to 80 in Charlotte this afternoon, but north of the front, hey, this isn't bad compared to where we were a couple of weeks ago, but it's still much colder than yesterday. We're in the mid-30s locally. Got some 20s up in Canada right now. Yesterday it was close to 90 degrees in parts of the plain states. Today, good 45 degrees colder than that in parts of Nebraska and into Kansas, parts of Iowa. So a dramatic change out there. We're seeing the classic tug of war of the seasons going on right now, with winter trying to hang on, but spring making more and more progress northward with every passing day. And of course, astronomical spring begins this Friday. We've already reached meteorological spring, which we consider the months of March, April, and May. Astronomical spring, which is what most people consider the start of spring. That is on Friday. All right, the weather for the rest of the day, today and into tonight, will be quiet. It'll be cold tonight. Colder. We'll get down into the 20s, even teens in some spots. I think tomorrow is an uneventful day. Now let's talk about what we have going on for the end of the week then. Let's take a look at our latest computer model here. This is the GFS model I'm showing you, but other models have similar ideas. Again, tomorrow is a quiet day. This is, let's park ourselves here on Wednesday with high pressure over Cincinnati. We'll see some sun at times tomorrow. Then Thursday, we have a little system that will be passing by to our south. Now, most of the moisture with this is going to stay south of the Ohio River and then curve north like this, mostly missing us. But this could be a close call for Thursday night, early Friday. Don't think it's a big deal either way, but there will be some precipitation trying to knock on our door late Thursday night into Friday. Could be a little wet snow, a mix of rain and snow, not real sure just yet. Any snow accumulations at this point would be fairly minor. They could pick up a few inches, though, out in central parts of PA with this plume of moisture heading north. Again, this is Thursday night into early Friday. Then Friday during the day, clouds should eventually break for some late day sunshine. Headed to the weekend on a pretty quiet note. Here's Saturday afternoon. We have a cold front approaching. Low pressure up here. Here's our front Saturday afternoon. It'll be a milder day Saturday. We could touch 50 in some spots. Breezy day as well. But then our cold front comes through Saturday evening into the overnight. Could be a rain shower with that. Not much, though. And by Sunday, the cold front's down to our south and east, and cooler air is here. Nothing too dramatic, but definitely cooler for the second half of the weekend than the first half. And overall, an uneventful weekend will be followed by a pretty quiet start to next week. We're in the middle of a pretty tranquil weather pattern in terms of precipitation right now. No big showstoppers in terms of rain or snow out through the next week. As far as temperatures go, we just had a real taste of spring yesterday. But we're in the middle of a pattern, or heading into a pattern, I should say, that generally will feature more cooler than average days than warmer than average days. Now, of course, in late March, cooler than average can still mean 47, 48 degrees, because, of course, by the end of March, our average high will be close to 50. So if it reaches 48, technically it's still below average. So we're not in the dead of winter anymore. A cooler than average day doesn't mean what it did a month or so ago. But nonetheless, more below average days than above average days through the end of March and perhaps into the first week of April as well. So days like we had yesterday where we reached the 60s, those are going to be pretty uncommon through the end of the month. We'll start getting more and more of those as we get into April. But overall, this temperature anomaly map looks a lot like the winter did, with warm air out in the west and cool air in the east. Thankfully, again, it's March, not January, so cool air does not mean we're going to be shivering in the single digits with snow. It just means the spring fever preview that we had yesterday it was a bit of an oasis in a period here where we're going to see a lot of cool air, cooler than average air. All right, that's Tuesday's weather for Weather Geeks. Thanks for coming back, everyone. I'll have more on social media throughout the evening. Into the overnight, you can catch my forecast tonight on 21 News at 6 and 11. I'll see you then.